Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents G.I. Joe Tuesday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the G.I. Joe Classified Series number 81, Cobra Eel. Let's get into it! Let's start diving into a look at the packaging. And here we have 4 and up plastic-free packaging, except tape and glue. Warning, don't stick things in your pie hole that do not belong there. And then here we have G.I. Joe Classified Series logo, and it is embossed across the top here. And then on the front of the packaging, here we have digital render, or at least I'm assuming this is digital renders, of the accessories that he comes with, but then it looks like nice photography product shots on as the main feature of the front of the packaging. And then we have some artwork here, G.I. Joe Classified Series, and this is all embossed and runs around to this side. Even where it fades out, it's still fully embossed, but just the G.I. Joe, not the Classified Series. Cobra Eel, Cobra, Hasbro on the bottom, just in case you forgot from earlier, plastic-free packaging, except tape and glue. And then some small fine legalese, made in China print, symbols I'm not going to learn, and a barcode. And then on this side, we have, a larger piece of that artwork from the front, G.I. Joe Classified Series number 81, none of that is embossed. And then on this side, a smaller version of the artwork, number 81. Here's the scan code, so scan it and you can check out his stats. Also, they're just kind of right here as well. And again, this is embossed stripes from the front. On the back, number 81, Cobra, although it should be over this way a little more, in my opinion, because it does not wrap around. And then here, I'm guessing digital renders. Well, I'm not guessing. That is digital renders of close-ups of some of the figure's features. And then nice digital render of the figure and its accessories. He stands 6.2 inches tall, or 157 millimeters. And then again, there's this his combat readiness information, I guess you could call it. And then, warning, attention, Noctoon, don't stick things in any language pie hole that do not belong there. Don't give it to babies. Attention! Definitely don't stick it in your French pie hole. Parents, GIJoe.com. And then, again, small fine legalese made in China print. That, and Hasbro print. Assortment number. That, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and his accessories. And first up, as we always do, let's take a look at the accessories. Here we have handy dandy tweezers. And of course, his spear gun is nothing that we haven't seen before. It did also come with torpedo, except torpedoes I think had a silver spear, and this one is gold, has a gold paint app. And then, I'm not sure, this may or may not be different colored, I'm not sure. But regardless, it does have nice molded details. It does look like a spear gun. You can definitely tell that's what it's supposed to be. And next up we have his diving knife. And I'm pretty sure we've seen this before, but I couldn't tell you right off where. It's most likely molded in this black plastic, and then this handle is a paint app, and it does have some nice molded details in there. Next up is his diving helmet. And I have to say, this really takes me back Those original eels. As you can see, there's a little bit of paint slop here. Around the visor, which is a clear piece, and I'm pretty sure it's a separate piece from the rest of it, because this is a pretty flexible piece. Now this doesn't pull out, and you do have some posts on the ends of the hoses that go into the backpack rebreather or air tank or whatever you want to call it. But this is a very, very nice looking piece, and there you can see where that clear visor is a separate piece. So very nice. This is cool. And then here is his backpack or rebreather or air tanks. It looks more like a rebreather, I guess. There could be some tanks up in there. Under this, got the nice tampo of the Cobra Eel logo on it, and nice paint app there. A little bit of molded detail on the back side of it, I guess, or the inside of it. The post that pegs into his back, and then here we have some sort of perhaps exhaust for he's zooming through the water. Maybe like some kind of, it's got an intake somewhere and it blows water out the back of it to give him a little boost while he's swimming. And nice molded details on it. It's pretty cool looking. His last set of accessories, again, we've seen these before, torpedo. And you can see right there it says R for right. The other one I bet says L for left. But nice molded details, and you can tell it's molded to a specific foot. Meaning right or left, not a specific person's foot. And there we go, there's the L for left. And again, nice molded details, all molded in black plastic. And it is a bit flexible, as swimming fins should be. Well, let's take a look at the figure himself. And I will have to say they did a nice job on the face. He does have a little bit of side eye, though, it looks like. Like they're not quite lined up straight. But once you put the helmet on him, you can still see the eyes, but you can't see them real super clear. So that's something. Nice big silver Cobra logo tampo right there prominently on his chest. This is like a soft plastic overlay. Same with this belt and crotch piece and the knife sheath. And you can see I've got a little bit of a blemish here on mine. Now whether that's like a paint drip or slop, or I'm not sure what that is. I can't feel it like it's on the outside, so it may be just an imperfection in the plastic. And we'll get to that in a minute too. But I will have to say, he does have, you know, his wetsuit mask, got some nice molded details on it. I think it's the same one that we got with Torpedo. In fact, I think the majority of this figure is the same, is just Torpedo reused, which is appropriate for this guy. And really not a whole lot going on the back. You can see he does have a zipper here to get out of his wetsuit, I suppose. Well, let's take a look at his articulation. He can look up that high. He can look down that far. He's got some chicken neck. He's got the waggle. He can do the full exorcist. And I do believe the head is on a dumbbell joint, and then there's a ball at the bottom of the neck, and it's all separate pieces. At the shoulder, it's got some butterfly, goes back that far, goes forward that far. He can raise his arm up, not quite 90 degrees, full 360 degree rotation, cut at the upper bicep, and this armor piece goes over that a little bit, so it does impede it some. It doesn't really stop it, but as you can see, it does bend up to get out of the way. But you can get a full 360 degrees out of that rotation. Double hinged pinless elbow, and it gives you that much bend. At the wrist, trigger finger hand, and it's up and down hinge, and trigger finger hand on the other side, which is also up and down hinge. Now in the torso, he has that, like I want to call it a standard ab crunch. That's what he has. So there is that, and with that, he can lean back that far. Now there's also a cut here. I want to say it's on a ball joint at the waist, and working in conjunction, those two, he can bend back that far. Working in conjunction, he can lean forward that far. And at the waist, he's got all kinds of hula going on there. He can lean left and right, and it does give him some back and forward as well. And a 360 degree rotation. Now at the hips, it's on that G.I. Joe pull down hinge. He can give you that much of the splits. Get back into place, you. He can kick forward that far, which is approximately 90 degrees backwards. And I want to say his butt's kind of soft, so you can bend it up a little bit to get some extra out of there. So maybe 4.5 to 5 steps back. Maybe. If they're small steps. Cut here at the upper thigh. Gives you that 360 degree rotation there. Double hinged pinless knee. And it gives you that much bend. And then at the lower shin, just above the ankle, there is a cut that gives you another 360 degree rotation. And then at the ankle, it tilts down that far, up that far, and forward facing pin for rocker. Now, as far as accessory storage goes, knife goes right in the sheath, and the sheath tries to come off the leg. You just move it back up into place the best you can, and sometimes it stays there and sometimes it don't. Now let's get his helmet on. It is a bit of a tight fit, but that just means it won't come off when you don't want it to. And then you do have to do a little bit of adjustment with it to get it to line up right with the face. Then on his back, you can see here's the port. Just make sure that you line up that overlay, the hole in the overlay, with the port, and then put the backpack into place. Then these little pegs right here go in these ports right here, and you do that on both sides. So alright, that is all equipped. And because of the hoses, it does limit the articulation, the head turn, when he's wearing the helmet and the air pack. Now as far as the diving fins go, just slide his foot in there and get it all over the back of his heel. So there's that. His last piece of equipment, of course, is his spear gun. And you want to put this hoop or loop around his wrist and hand. Get it back up in there some. And then you might have to work at the spear gun a little bit to get it into his hand properly. Of course, the finger didn't want to go in the trigger guard like it was supposed to the first time. So there you go. Just work at it a little bit. You can get it right on in there. So there we have, my friends, a look at the figure and his accessory. But I want to take a look at the first eel that I got and show you some of the quality control issues here with this knee. I mean, you can just see it's kind of mangled up looking. It definitely looks like it did not come out of the mold properly. It looks like there's extra off flaps all around. And dang it, there I go bumping the camera. And you can see there's just flecks of plastic all over the place on this one. This one isn't quite as bad, but this one is. And although you can get motion out of it, it doesn't seem like it wants to go all the way. And when it does, you can see this piece right here looks like it's tearing. And this just looks sloppy right here. And it's just not a high point of this figure. That, my friends, does it for a look at the figure and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the G.I. Joe Classified Series Cobra Eel with the G.I. Joe Classified Series Torpedo and the G.I. Joe Classified Series Shipwreck and Polly. Here's the G.I. Joe Classified Series Cobra Eel with the Valaverse Action Force Swarm Trooper with Swarm Gear and the Valaverse Action Force Scarab. For our final set of comparisons, here we have the G.I. Joe Classified Series Cobra Eel with, from the Marvel Legends series, making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee. From the G.I. Joe Classified Series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander. From Star Wars The Black Series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper. And for a 7-inch scale comparison from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on the G.I. Joe Classified Series Cobra Eel, I have to say, I don't know, this guy's kind of been plagued with issues a little bit, and for Hasbro to know this is such a popular guy, to let QC issues get into it when they know a bunch of these guys are going out is a little unforgivable. Now, I know there's some people that have been saying they've had some quality issues with Classified Series for a while now, and I may have come up against one or two slight things, and this one's a little different. I got two of these guys, one of which has a really, really bad knee problem, and it's not good. And I'm really disappointed in that. And as far as the figure goes overall, I like the paint scheme, the helmet, and the accessories, everything. It really takes me back to that A Real American Hero figure, which is what it's designed to do. And I'm glad that it does. I want to say there's probably 98, 97% torpedo on this guy. Or this guy is 97, 98% torpedo, with a different helmet and a different backpack and then different colors. And I think everything else is pretty much the same, which it makes sense. They're dudes wearing wetsuits. So this guy has a different backpack and a different helmet, and then Pretty much everything else is the same. He does not come with a small caliber firearm or a submachine gun, whatever you want to refer to it as, like Torpedo did. So he's one accessory short, but his helmet is more substantial than Torpedo's, so I guess that balances out a little bit maybe in the long run. I mean, and again, overall, you know, I like this guy. I like the accessories he comes with, and it just really, it does take me back to that 80s figure, which I used a lot. And they looked cool. They still look cool. But Hasbro, because I know you're watching, haha, you really need to step it up on your QC before this line suffers really bad. And you might have a few things seeping in here and there. And I hope nobody else had a bum knee like I did on one of mine. It's just, it's really disheartening when you get a figure that you're really looking forward to, that you have a lot of nostalgia toward, and then, you know, it has QC stuff going on. So, but I guess that's a subject for a different video. That does it for the review. I hope that you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very much for supporting this channel through viewing. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you'd like to see more reviews or just help the channel out further. Or both, that's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.